5 seconds. Start. Global poverty is another source of insecurity. World population now at 650 crore will reach 700 to 800 crore within 25 years and may eventually level out at 900 to 1000 crore. Currently, half the world's population growth occurs in just 6 countries: India, China, Pakistan, Nigeria, Bangladesh, and Indonesia. Among the world's poorest countries, population is expected to triple in the next 50 years, whereas many rich countries will see population shrinkage in that period. High per capita income and low population growth make rich states or rich social groups get richer, whereas low incomes and high population growth reinforce each other to make poor states and poor groups get poorer. Globally, this disparity contributes to the gap between the northern and southern countries of the world. Within the South, disparities have also sharpened as a few countries have managed to slow down population growth and raise incomes while others have failed to do so. For example, most of the world's armed conflicts now take place in sub-Saharan Africa, which is also the poorest region of the world. At the turn of the 21st century, more people were being killed in wars in this region than in the rest of the world combined. Poverty in the South has also led to large-scale migration to seek a better life, especially better economic opportunities in the North. This has created international political frictions. International law and norms make a distinction between migrants, those who voluntarily leave their home countries, and refugees, those who flee from war, natural disaster, or political persecution. States are generally supposed to accept refugees, but they do not have to accept migrants. While refugees leave their country of origin, people who have fled their homes but remain within national borders are called internally displaced people. Kashmiri Pandits that fled the violence in the Kashmir Valley in the early 1990s are an example of an internally displaced community. The World Refugee Map tallies almost perfectly with the World Conflicts Map because wars and armed conflicts in the South have granted millions of refugees seeking safe haven. From 1990 to 1995, 70 states were involved in 93 wars, which killed about 55 lakh people. As a result, individuals and families and at times whole communities have been forced to migrate because of generalized fear of violence or due to the destruction of livelihoods, identities, and living environments. A look at the correlation between wars and refugee migration shows that in the 1990s, all but 3 of the 60 refugees flows coincided with an internal armed conflict. Health epidemics such as HIV/AIDS, bird flu, and severe acute respiratory syndrome SARS have rapidly spread across countries through migration, business, tourism, and military operations. One country's success or failure in limiting the spread of these diseases affecting infections in other countries. By 2003, an estimated 4 crore people were infected with HIV/AIDS worldwide, two-thirds of them in Africa and half of the rest in South Asia. In North America and other industrialized countries, new drug therapies dramatically lowered the death rate from HIV/AIDS in the late 1990s. But these treatments were too expensive to help poor regions like Africa, where it has proved to be a major factor in driving the region backward into deeper poverty. Other new and poorly understood diseases such as Ebola virus, hantavirus, and hepatitis C have emerged, while old diseases like tuberculosis, malaria, dengue fever, and cholera have mutated into drug-resistant forms that are difficult to treat. Epidemics among animals have major economic effects. Since the late 1990s, Britain has lost billions of dollars of income during an outbreak of the mad cow diseases, and bird flu shut down supplies of poultry exports from several Asian countries. Such epidemics demonstrate the growth interdependence of states, making their border less meaningful than in the past and emphasize the need for international cooperation. Expansion of the concept of security does not mean that we can include any kind of disease or distress in the ambit of security. If we do that, the concept of security stands to lose its coherence. Everything could become a security issue. To qualify as a security problem, therefore, an issue must share a minimum common criterion, say, of threatening the very existence of the referent, a state or group of people, though the precise nature of this threat may be different. For example, the Maldives may feel threatened by global warming because a big part of its territory may be submerged with the rising sea level, whereas for countries in southern Africa, HIV/AIDS poses a serious threat, as 1 in 6 adults has the disease, 1 in 3 for Botswana, the worst case. In 1994, the Tutsi tribe in Rwanda faced a threat to its existence as nearly 5 lakh of its people were killed by the rebel Hutu tribe in a matter of weeks. This shows that non-traditional conceptions of security, like traditional conceptions of security, vary according to local contexts. Full stop.